Are you guys interested in buying a home out here in Mexico, but you need a loan and you have no idea how to get yourself a loan in order to purchase a home in Mexico? Well, guess what? You're in luck. I'm here with my really good friend, Jose Novelo, and he's gonna explain to you how you can qualify, apply for a loan so you can purchase a home out here in Mexico. Again, you guys know we do a lot of home tours out here in Merida, Yucatan, and a lot of you guys are always asking us, hey Jose, how can I apply for a loan in order to, again, purchase one of these homes? Right. So, well, I decided to make a video just talking about this one particular subject so you guys have as much info as possible. So that way, again, you guys, we can hopefully answer all your questions. And if you have any more questions, you can ask us down below in the comments or reach out to us directly. I'm going to leave down below Jose Novelo's email and all that good stuff. So, all right, without further ado, let's just get right into it because, we have a lot of questions to ask Jose about getting a loan to purchase a home out here in Merida, Yucatan, or actually in Mexico, wherever you want. Right. So, okay, Jose, I want to purchase a home out here in Mexico. And I want to get a loan because I just don't have enough money to purchase the home. Can you just really quickly tell me exactly what I need? Meaning I need my ID, right? My
passport, right? That's the first thing. Bank statements of the last 6 months, showing your income, your monthly income, okay? Last 2 years yearly tax declaration. We would need 2024 and 2023 yearly tax declaration.
Yeah, your last 2 tax returns. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
And your credit history from any of the 3
credit bureaus.
Credit bureau, yeah.
TransUnion, Experian, and what was the other one?
That's Experience, TransUnion, and
Equifax. How much of a credit score do you need? What do you know?
Yes, I think it's 700.
Okay, so minimum of 700. Yeah. So you need your credit report, you need your passport,
you
need a down payment, you need proof of income.
Yes.
You need bank statements.
Correct.
You need your 2 last
2 years
tax returns. Anything else?
That's it. That's the info we need. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the first part.
And by the way, that's just to start the application and
correct.
And then once
you get an answer.
Right.
Once we get an answer, then we move to the second part of the process, which is the KYC, know your client, all that personal info, all the letters that you need to sign. Personal data protection letters and all that, then we start with the process. Now you can have access to loans. There are a few things that you need to do first. Well, first of all, either you have an income because you're working for a company, or you have an income as a professional or independent. Okay, so having an income is very important because who get a loan without having any income to prove that you can pay back, That's the first thing. And this is very important to mention because I received this question a lot. Hey, can I get a loan, but I'm not working and I don't have any money. I didn't save any money. That's the difference between some countries and Mexico. Here in Mexico, it is mandatory to have an income. It doesn't have to be a steady income, which is, that's another question I always get. Hey, I make money on my own. So sometimes I make, $2,000 a month. Other times I make $4,000. And some others just $500 or $200, So it's not like needing a steady income. You'll get a steady income if you work for someone. If you're an employee, okay? So that's the first thing that you need to know.
I got a question, follow-up question. Okay, so does retirement or pension or Social Security or, let's say I'm retired military and I get a, monthly, stipend or whatever. So
right,
does that
it's
count?
A great question. Yeah, because it's still an income, okay? Now, here's another thing. What's the age of the person applying for the loan, okay? Again, Mexico has its own rules. Maybe in other countries, if you're 70 years old, 80 years old, you still have a chance to get a loan. Not in Mexico. That's the difference. Because how we calculate the return of that loan, it has to do with age as well. Okay, so that's very important too. Now, if you ask me, hey, what's the maximum? Can you give me an answer? We cannot. That's why we need some documents, okay? Because sometimes If you're like, let's say you're 45 years old, okay? But you make a nice amount of money on a monthly basis, it's totally different that a person that makes not that much money and it's a 30-year-old, okay? Makes sense?
Yeah.
So this information, the information that I will just put on a list right now, that's what we need, because this info goes into a board, okay? And they will analyze your case. It's case by case.
So like a credit board.
That's right.
Okay.
And it's case by case, okay? It's not like...
It's not like the U.S. It's very different. Yeah.
Totally different.
And so like going back to the age limits, so long story short, what would be the age limit and, going like older? Is there like a 65, 70-year-old
That's right.
cap?
No, that would be the max,
Okay.
65. But again, if you're a 65-year-old making a nice amount of money,
You're good to go.
Exactly. There's a high chance that you could get a loan. And I also get this question, hey, but if I'm making that much money, why do I need a loan? I don't know. Maybe you want to get the loan so you don't, use your own capital. For whatever reason, you want to get a loan and you're 65 and you're making a nice amount of money because you have your own business. Well, it's entirely up to you to ask for a loan or to use your capital, your own capital, and buy the house. Just
So
one
basically,
payment.
loans are.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Because again, if you take your own money, then you won't pay the interest. Because again, guys, every loan has an interest.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, thank you for bringing that up because
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people don't realize that. But yeah, at the end of the day, no matter what loan you're going to get, you're going to have to
That's
pay
right.
some interest.
That's right.
Now, again, at the end of the day, a lot of these loans are more targeted towards younger folk. Again, in their
Correct.
40s, 30s,
30s,
50s.
40s. That's right.
Things, again, and not only that they have, steady income, but again, the fact that, they have a down payment. So,
That's right.
So that's another thing. Okay.
Exactly.
So again, not only do you have to prove income, not only does your age, is part of the factor as well, but also a down payment.
Correct.
Because the thing. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
The worst case scenario on the down payment would be 40%. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. You get 60% loan on the price of the house, but you will have to put 40% down.
So you mean that's the maximum?
Yes,
that they're gonna ask
that
for?
would be the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Best case scenario, you could receive maybe 70, maybe 80% of the loan, of the total price, and then you put only 20% down, okay? But I always like to talk about the worst case scenarios because there's nothing after that, okay? So if you can put 40% down, and ask for 60%, you're good.
Yeah. So basically, the more you have available to put as a down payment, the
That's right.
better, odds you have. Okay,
Right,
another
right.
question I want to ask you is, so look, long story short, it seems like, just like any other loan out there, you have to have an application process.
Correct.
That has to be approved by a special credit board.
Correct.
And all that stuff. And as you were mentioning off camera, the loan officer. So who is the loan officer? Is it a certain bank or is it multiple banks? Or
Yeah, multiple banks. Once we have this information, we're working with a bank's broker. Okay? So what we do is we send this information to different banks, the banks that we think we have the best shot at. Okay? So we send that information, just basic info at the beginning, for them to study. But that's why we're using this brokerage firm, okay, to send this info. And what's that info? Because maybe that's the next question.
Right,
Passport, right? That's the first thing. Bank statements of the last 6 months, showing your income, your monthly income, okay? Last 2 years yearly tax declaration, okay? If you own a business or if you work for a company, you need the last two. If you ask for the credit or the loan in 2025, we would need 2024 and 2023 yearly tax declaration.
Your last two tax returns. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
And your credit history from any of the three
Credit bureaus.
Credit bureau, yeah.
TransUnion, Experian, and what was the other one?
That's Experience, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Yeah. So basically,
Those
you
three.
need your credit report.
But
Because that's
not
the thing.
only the PDF. I mean, you need to download the whole history.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, yeah. As Americans, we know.
Yeah.
We know what we need to do. But anyway, so
Yeah.
again, because you're an American and you are using again your American credit,
Right.
and everything that you establish in the USA to get a loan in Mexico. So you need your credit report, you need your
Yes.
passport,
Yes.
you need a down payment, you
Yes.
need proof of income.
Yes.
You need bank statements.
Correct.
You need your two last
Last
tax,
2 years,
tax
returns.
tax returns. Anything else?
That's it. That's
Okay.
the info we need. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the first part.
And by the way, that's just to start the application and
Correct.
and then once
And get
once-
an answer.
Right.
Once we get an answer, then we move to the second part of the process, which is the KYC, know your client, all that personal info, all the letters that you need to sign, personal data protection letters and all that. Then we start with the process. Now, how long it takes to get an answer? More or less, according to the board, it takes for them like 2 weeks to give an answer. Okay. Once we get an answer, if they say yes, we can give a loan to this person. We will know how much you'll get. Okay.
Okay.
And then it means that
Like how
you
much
should
you'll-
be ready.
Like how much you'll get approved for?
Right.
Basically, the max you can get approved
Right.
for. Okay.
By then, you should know which house you want to buy, and you should have the money to send the down payment.
Yeah, to start the process and all
That's
that good
right.
stuff. Okay. Yeah, because
So
it's
the whole
quickly.
process-
Yeah, because it
right,
goes
right.
quickly. Because the thing is that once that's done, if you don't act in a certain amount of time, you got to start over.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like a few weeks, right?
That's right. I mean, it's 60 to 2 months.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, but man, I mean, it's actually not that difficult. I mean, look, I've
No.
never been through the process myself personally, in the U.S., here, anywhere. But again, it seems like it's very straightforward and very
Yeah.
similar to the process in the USA.
Right. What these guys did, they tried to do the same or very similar to how you get a loan in the U.S. and Canada, in which I think they did a great job.
Yeah, and so I got a quick question for you. So again, when we were talking about the credit reports, coming, from, Experian, whatever, that's for Americans. But as a Canadian or European, I guess they have to get their equivalent credit
Correct.
reports from their countries.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's what we need. I mean, that's what the board of credit needs to see the report.
Now, a quick question. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but how much of a credit score do you need? What do you know?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I think it's 700.
Okay, so minimum of 700.
Minimum of 700.
Okay, that's not so bad. That's
No,
not bad at all.
no.
Mine is
But-
negative 300, but still.
Exactly.
Okay.
But above 700,
You're good to go.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
actually not that difficult.
No.
And again, the whole thing of proving income, it's a lot easier than when you're going to the consulate.
Oh.
Basically, yeah. Because remember, there's a lot of people out in the audience that have their own business,
Right.
or again, right now, they get their income, from the military or from some other entity out there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
In fact,
as long as we can prove that it's an income.
In fact, it's actually more solid if again you're ex-military and you're getting a check from the
No,
U.S. government.
yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
almost automatic approval.
Definitely, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Is there any last words? Anything else you want to say regarding
Well,
this?
no, guys. I mean, if you're ready, or if you have this, I want to buy a house in Mexico. I don't want to use my personal capital. I want to save some money because moving here, you'll need some cash at the end.
Yeah,
of
because
the day.
let's say you want to upgrade,
Right.
you want to add a closet
That's
or a
right,
pool,
that's right.
or you want to have some money for emergencies.
Yeah, I think there's one question that you didn't ask, but it's important.
Okay.
The interest rate.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the maximum interest rate, it's 11%,
Okay.
which is not bad at all.
Yeah, and again, it all depends on the application and how you come
Exactly,
out.
exactly.
Okay, but what's the lowest?
9.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
still okay. Pretty, yeah, because in the U.S. I think it's like 3 or something or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a big
again,
difference.
exactly.
You got to live in the
And-
U.S.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not only that,
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
that was great. That was great. But not only that, here in Mexico, we only get one loan for a house. Until you pay that back, you can get a second one.
Oh, okay. So you can't get
So it's
multiple
not-
loans.
Yeah,
You can only get
so it's
one
not
at a
like
time.
in the U.S. And the reason why, that's the reason why our bank system is very protected.
Yeah, very solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. It's not like the U.S. You can just print money out of thin air.
Right.
You know, Lucky them. Huh? Anyways, there was one last thing that I wanted to ask you about, because in the U.S. they recently announced that they want to do 50-year mortgages over there, 50-year loans out there.
Oh.
But what is the actual normal length for a loan out there in Mexico? Because I know it's not as long as the U.S.
No, I mean, which is a great question, because you, as the person that will pay the loan back, can choose 10 years, 15 years, 20, or up to 30 years.
Okay.
I mean, that's entirely up to you as the client, right? Because some people don't like to pay for too long, okay?
Right.
And sometimes the board of credit will say, hey, based on we go back to the age. You know, you need to pay this back in 15 years max, because you kind of, you kind of 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it makes a lot of sense, as to how that works. And, another question, follow up to that. So let's say I want to pay off my loan or my mortgage early. I know in the U.S. sometimes people have trouble with that because
they pay penalties for that?
All kinds of weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like they make it difficult for you to pay early. But again, not every case, not every loan, but still in Mexico, it's the opposite, right? Here,
totally the
they
opposite.
want you to pay as soon as possible.
Totally the opposite.
Sorry about that. The camera turned off. We've been filming all day today doing home tours. Again, if you guys want to see the home tours that we usually do, we're going to link them at the end of this video. But again, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by my own camera, long story short, the banks out here in Mexico, they want you to pay as quickly as possible. No penalties, no nothing. In fact, they'll help you, right?
If you can pay before, let's say, 10 years, I mean, the bank will say, yeah, please bring your money. And you will pay only the interest of the months that you used, okay?
Okay.
It's right there in the contract. Now, that's important to know. You need to read the contract very well, because sometimes they say, okay, you know what? I'll give you the loan, but at least you need to pay 3 years of interest, 1 year of interest, which is okay. I mean, like you said, they want the interest, but they also want the money back.
Yeah.
You know?
In fact, that's what they're more interested in. Just making sure you pay the money back.
Exactly. So you can pay back. I mean, it's not like 10 years. If not, you don't get the credit, whatever.
And I got one more question.
Sure.
I'm sorry I got so many questions, but will this help you? Again, if you get a loan this way, using your American credit, whatever, will this help you establish credit in Mexico or no? Or is this separate?
No, that's separate.
Okay.
But here's the good thing. Because you will be buying a real estate in Mexico with that money. Which brings me to the second part of my answer. Yes, but in the future.
Okay.
Once
it's paid off.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because you will be, you start paying back. At the same time, owning real estate in Mexico gives you the benefit of getting a Mexican residency if you don't have a Mexican residency. Once you have the Mexican residency, you can open a Mexican bank account. Once you have a Mexican bank account, then you start making,
credit. Yeah, and once you finish the loan, boom.
Exactly.
It's all good.
So that's how it goes.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. This is amazing news. This is such wonderful news to so many people in the audience, and I'm glad that we were able to have this talk. And I'm sure there's more questions. I'm sure a lot of you guys, want have more stuff that you want to get answers for. So please, reach out directly to Jose. I'm going to put all his information down below. Some of you guys already know him from all the previous videos and all that good stuff. So again, please reach out to him with any questions. And again, it doesn't matter what the size of the loan that you're looking for. At the end of the day, you will never know unless you actually go through the process and apply and stuff like that. And
that's correct.
Again, you got the perfect guide to help you with all this, because again, Jose Novelo is a real estate lawyer. That's his main thing. He's real estate, income tax, all that stuff, right?
Tax.
So that's the person you want to look, you want to have in your corner to not only help you with this, but also look over the contract and making sure that you know exactly what's in there. Before you sign, all that good stuff. Yes. So, I think that's it. All right, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it was very informative, and it's going to help you make a better decision going forward as to, purchasing a home, getting a loan, whatever. And again, as we said before, please let us know down below in the comments if you have any more questions or comments or whatever it is. We would love to hear them. And again, don't forget to reach out to Jose, for more information. So you already know the deal, guys. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please the bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. And don't forget to check out these other videos at the end of this one so you guys can see, other interviews with Jose and the home tours and all the stuff that we do. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching. See you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.